Hey, my friend, let me tell you a story. I call this one The Storyteller's Warning. Gather around, friends, and listen well, for this is a story that must be told, a story you need to hear before it's too late. It begins in a town much like your own, where the people were too busy to notice the warnings, too comfortable to believe danger could reach them. They had jobs to do, messages to check, and lives to live. They walked past the old man who sat at the corner of the market, telling stories. Nobody listened to him. They called him the storyteller, but not in a kind way. To them, he was just a relic of the past, a man who spoke of things that could never be. But those who stopped, even for a moment, felt something strange, a pull, a whisper in the air. And then the stories would begin. One evening, a young woman named Elara stopped to hear him. She wasn't like the others. She had always felt that something was off in the world, that there were truths people ignored because they were too afraid to face them. The storyteller looked at her with tired, knowing eyes and said, "You are the first in a long time, so I will give you the warning." He leaned forward, and in a voice that sent chills down her spine, he began. There is a shadow in the world, moving where no one dares to look. It is patient, waiting for people to be too distracted, too blind to see it. And when it strikes, it will not come with a roar, nor with fire, nor with war. No, it will come quietly in the places you never think to check. In the empty houses on your street, in the spaces between your thoughts. It will be there when you wake up in the middle of the night, feeling like someone is watching you. But you tell yourself it's just a dream. Elara felt her heartbeat quicken. They call it the vanishing. First, you will hear of a missing person, someone who simply disappeared without a trace. But you won't think much of it. People go missing all the time, don't they? Then another and another, a neighbor, a co-worker, a stranger from the bus, and still, the world will move on. Until one day, you realize the streets are quieter. The places you once knew feel thinner, like something has been taken away, but you can't quite name it. And then it will reach you, not with a sound, not with a fight, but with a simple, creeping absence. And by the time you notice, it will already be too late. The storyteller stopped. The market was bustling around them, but Elara felt like she had stepped into another world. "What do I do?" she whispered. The storyteller smiled sadly. "Listen, that is the first step. Pay attention to what others ignore. Remember the names of the missing. Speak their stories. Because as long as they are remembered, they are not truly gone. And perhaps that is the only thing the shadow fears." Elara left the market that night with a feeling she couldn't shake. And the next morning she noticed something strange. A house on her street, one she could have sworn had been there forever, was gone. Not just empty, gone. And she realized, with cold horror, that she couldn't remember who had lived there. She turned back toward the market, heart pounding, ready to find the storyteller again. But his corner was empty, his chair was gone, and no one seemed to remember that he had ever been there at all. And now you have heard the warning. Will you listen? Drop your thoughts below, share this with friends and family, and follow me for more captivating stories.